It's that time again as Iron Country brings you the Fishing Hole. Keep up to date with the latest products and learn fishing tactics from some of the best anglers across North America.
Let's give him a warm welcome this morning to the Fishing Hole. 2014 National Freshwater Fishing Hall of Fame inductee Dale Stroschein. And this week's guest, we are going to introduce to you Larry Smith from Larry Smith Outdoors. We bring you another fantastic guest this week. It's legendary Al Linder on the Fishing Hole.
And my pleasure to be here, Jerry. Looking forward to it.
Here's your host, Hurricane Jerry.
Good morning, Hurricane Jerry with you as we talk fishing here in the State Line area. We do this every Saturday morning at 7:20 a.m. here on Iron Country 1019 and 1490. You can stream at ironcountry.fm. And if you go to our website, you can actually download the app and stream it from your mobile device. And today's show is brought to you by Jerry Sports Service in Beloit, located along the Rock River, just off of Highway 51, home of the ultimate fishing boats from Lund. And the inventory is going to be a little low this year, so if you're looking to get a new Lund, they've got them in stock right now for the 2021 season. They've got a huge selection right now. And don't forget, Jerry repairs all makes and models of boats and motors. You can call 608-365-4520 or even visit them online at jerrysboats.com. It's been a while since we had our good buddy Bro with us, and Brian Brosdahl is with us this morning. And Bro, how you been, my friend?
Hey, good. Everything's been going good. We got a good winter, and on to another year. I'm glad to see 2020 go.
Yeah, I think we all are, bro. And now, you never really did the Bro Roadshow like you normally do, right?
No, I did the College of Ice as a replacement,
yes,
which is a virtual show, and it worked out really good and surprisingly really well. And it was big enough where some of the sponsors would definitely want me to do that next year. And then other sponsors still want to do the roadshow, and I wouldn't mind doing it,
right?
As long as I'm not going to be getting my fans sick if I'm carrying something.
Right. But the podcast thing, I listened to a couple of shows. They actually sound pretty good, and a lot of good information, a lot of fun too. You guys are having, so it sounds great. But
that's been good, and I miss seeing the people. And, but not to go on about that thing that happened last year.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff happened. It came out of nowhere, but we got to adapt. And so the virtual thing went pretty good. And then guiding was real good over the summer.
Yeah,
and lots of walleyes. In mostly walleye trips and some perch, but mostly walleyes.
Right. That's one thing, bro. The positive thing with the pandemic, I know in the state of Wisconsin, and I'm sure the same thing in the state of Minnesota where you're at, sales of fishing licenses are up. I'm seeing more people out on the ice this year than I've ever seen before, and that is really great for the industry, don't you think?
Absolutely, and I think that I've never seen as many wheelhouses in my life up in the area and on the roads, and in the Red Lake, Lake of the Woods, and then some of the other places, just like on Lake Winnebagosh. Some of these resorts that would have a dozen houses on a weekend, typically in the past decade, now are issuing over 500 passes, and that's just amazing.
Wow.
And people are getting out there, and there's not a lot of places to stay, and they're staying on the lake. But it's good to see people fishing. Everything from boats to rods and reels are in short supply, and electronics. I'm telling everybody, make sure that if you're thinking about getting some new Humminbird stuff in Minn Kota, get on it quick, because they're selling out fast.
Yes,
You can't produce it fast enough, and it's the same with everything. And I think, but other than that, there's plenty of opportunities for product that'll be out there. But certain things do sell fast, because remember, electronics isn't a huge numbers thing at the stores. It's dozens of items versus hundreds of items. So that's one thing I'll tell people, whether it's an aqua view or hummingbird for your boat coming up, get on the stick, I'm telling you.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, so tell our listeners, the areas of lakes you guide on, and we'll talk a little tactics. And you've been on some walleyes and perch. And for those our listeners, you want to learn something when it comes to fishing. And Bro, like he said, he missed being out and meeting the people. And Bro's a great people person. And you want to book a trip with Bro. What lakes you guiding on in Minnesota?
Well, in the summertime, I'm on Cass quite a bit. Cass Lake, Lake Bemidji, Leech Lake, and Winnie. And I like to tell people, don't have your heart set on one body of water. Let me steer you to the one that's going, because there's key things to remember. Water is all different temperature depending on how big the lakes are, whether they're 20,000 or 100,000 acres. So temperature, bug hatches, there's a lot of stuff, but every lake is in a different time, a different spot. So one lake might be advanced and be all mayflied up. The next lake hasn't hatched yet. So let me pick the lake for you, and we'll just meet at the access, is what I like to tell people. And then when you're looking for a place to stay, I could definitely give you some options. But that way I don't want to, you to not have a chance to catch fish.
Right. Yeah. And that's
leave your options open, and we'll just head to the right access point and go get them.
Yep. And go at it with an open mind. That's the key. So tell us a little bit ice fishing, Bro. And you've been on the walleyes and perch, and you pick the species you want to talk about right now, and then we'll follow up.
Yeah. Well, I've been chasing. I've had a few people up, and we've been chasing walleyes and perch typically, because in wintertime, it's something you can catch during the day. We're in a glacial lake area, and a lot of these lakes are clear, and some have zebra mussel, and so they're gin clear, and the fish are real spooky. Well, walleyes bite in the morning and evening. Sometimes you get them during the day here and there, but typically no. That's Red Lake and Lake of the Woods, but the lakes I'm on, we target perch. And perch, but a little bit spotty, but reason being is there's a whole bunch of tiny perch in the lakes right now, little young of the year and 2-year-old perch. And the perch are cannibals, so they don't have to travel to feed. So you're running into pods, and they're really nice ones on any lake you go to. But running into limits is a little tougher. You're not going to be able to keep only 11, 12, 13 inchers. You're going to have to keep some 9-inch fish too, because unless you reset up into another area. So there's little pods of perch. But the walleyes, every lake right now is full of little walleyes coming up, and it's going to be phenomenal in the next year or two. There's so many walleyes that are 8, 9 inchers, and then the 11-inch year classes, and then there's some 13s. But then there's the other walleyes, the 14 through 17, 18, 19-inch walleyes that are on these lakes. So we had tremendous year classes coming up, but there's so many on lakes like Winnie, Bemidji, Leech Lake. There's some schools of fish you just can't get through. It can be monotonous because you don't want to keep them. They're too small.
Right.
They just keep coming through, and so that's the trick, is getting through the small ones. And what I've been doing is using larger sucker minnows, and sometimes the little ones will try to take those too. But like medium to large pike suckers, and setting them up on dead sticks has been working really good with a Gamakatsu hook, using like a shiner style hook or a walleye wide gap, and I'm nose hooking the minnows so that with a walleye swallow at head first, you can just go over and set the hook, and setting out dead sticks, and then jigging with glow shot spoons from Northland Tackle.
Right. Yeah.
I love it. They got this little light stick you crack, and then it glows. A little bit better than just using painted glow on your hooks. When the glow stick gets a little bit cold, it'll dim a little bit, still glowing, and it draws in. Perch can't see very well, like walleyes, and they don't have binocular vision like crappies and bluegills. But so perch need a little help, and cracking that light stick and putting it in a spoon works great during the day, especially with the snow on the ice. And we're using that to catch perch and walleyes, and we've caught some beautiful walleyes. We've had them up to 30 inches in the area lakes, but you don't get a lot of big ones this time of year. Past years, we'd get sometimes a dozen that you'd throw back that are nice, anywhere from 24 to 27. But this year, it seems like onesie twosies and a lot of small ones, and then you get your eaters out of the mix. But a lot of the area lakes have 10 to 14 inches of ice. Don't just drive out with a vehicle, though. I've drilled for miles and miles when I'm checking the ice, and then I'll wave my wife up with the truck or machine, and I walk out and I drill. And so if I'm driving, I've drilled the whole way out there. And,
right.
But I see people just blindly driving, and I don't, they could be local or from a distance, but that is not the smart way to go, because there's areas up here right now that still only have 8-9 inches of ice, and that is nothing for a big truck.
Absolutely.
If you have a machine, you're set. A machine, I like using a snowmobile, and you don't need much of a sled this year because we don't have super, super deep snow. But we've got a stalled system right now that it's just sitting there, and the weather's very mild, and I kind of don't mind having it to be cold weather again, because those changes in the weather really get the fish going. Anytime the weather changes around here, the fish go nuts that day. And as we're ushering in February, that's when the perch starts schooling up. So I'm excited for late ice. And there are times you could just go to one hole and just get a gusher of perch. And I've seen that on Leech Lake. And for those who are perch fans, I've been out on Leech, and up in the North Bays, there's really nothing right now. I truly believe there's a migration on that lake of jumbo perch. They migrate out to the deep water, and you could drill 1,000 holes looking for them. But when February comes, they start wrapping around the big flats of the lake, and they start moving into the bays. But right now, they're just holding out on the main flats, out in the center of the lake, and I know some people who are drilling around and happen onto them, and some of these fish are 1.5 pound, 1.75 pound
nice
perch, like the ones you see on Devil's Lake, but they're Leech Lake perch, and you might get 20 in an area, and that's it. But you've got 20, 30 pounds of perch right there. That's how big they are. And there's little tiny perch on all the lakes. So perch spoons really help. They trigger the bites. Buckshot flutter spoons work really well. Metallics, perch patterns, because they're cannibals. And then good old Aquaview, the little Micro 5 is nice because I'm walking and I'm just carrying the camera, dropping down the hole. And I don't fish if I don't see them. So I'll drop it and I'll spin it in a circle. And sometimes you go about 10 holes and all of a sudden you'll see some big jumbo perch. And they're aggressive. Bigger perch can be real aggressive. So, and we're catching walleyes mixed in here and there during the day, especially if it's cloudy.
Right, yeah.
But morning and evening, it's on fire.
Yeah, that's one thing, bro, you taught me a few years ago, and now I'm starting to do it. I like to chase perch down here in the Madison chain, and I've got the Aquaview camera, too. I'll drop that. I have it set up, kind of like you do inside your ice shanty, and you can actually see what's going on and how these perch are reacting to your baits. It's incredible, and to watch this all on camera. And this is for those that are listening right now. Bro is going to tell you right now how to set this up with the Aquaview camera. I mean, this is just a phenomenal way to learn a lot too.
Yeah, absolutely. With an Aquaview, there's a little wire clip that comes with it, so you can clip it to look forward. So you could drop it down and spin it around and look around, or you could unclip it and look straight down, like when you're looking down a hole without the sore neck. And so I like to look around, and then when I start fishing for them, I'll unclip it and look down so I can watch them come up and eat the bait and then set the hook. And